Can you dig it? Acknowledge me. The king of kings. Best in the world. Forever.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I am one half of Dynamic Duo Twisted alongside Desario.
Hello. Thanks for having me along for this one.
Of course. So Brother Pyro is not here today because he is actually celebrating his 1-year anniversary with his lovely sunflower. So congratulations to him. And fun little fact, this was the first pay-per-view that Flash and I ever watched as a couple.
Oh, that's sweet.
All 9 years ago. And
Oh.
It was actually like a week after we had started dating.
That is awesome. That's
So-
very cool.
We are talking WWE Backlash.
Yes, Backlash. Traditionally a pay-per-view that dealt with a lot of the unresolved issues from WrestleMania. Last couple of years, you really haven't had too much of that, so it's just become basically a pay-per-view name at this point in time.
Yeah.
But, we got a couple of good banger matches, but as we were kind of discussing at the top here, something just kind of feels off about this whole card.
Oh, it does.
About everything that's going on with TKO, WWE, normally at a point where fans should be at an all-time high. We're kind of left scrambling what the heck is going on and actually actively getting upset with the company.
I wholeheartedly agree. The way that they're going about this is so ridiculous, honestly. Having the commercials every 3 to 5 minutes, we discussed it during WrestleMania, there was no video package, no reason to hype up for the any of the matches. The matches were barely anything on the card, and I know Brother Pyro had said it, but on night one, 35% of the entire, 3-hour show was wrestling. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's... I understand that they have better partnerships, they have to have their timing and everything like that, but there's a better way to kind of go about this. I mean, you already got all the advertisements in the ring anyways. Do we really need another 3-minute commercial for Ram trucks when you're already splattered on the side of the ring?
Right. And I mean, even when we get into this, some storylines that are going on that you've mentioned are really, really bad. And yeah, we'll get into that. So starting us off, we have Danhausen. Brother Pyro thinks that the Funny's going to open up the show. And his to-be-determined partner taking on the Miz and Kit Wilson. This pretty much culminated because Danhausen had asked the Miz to be his mentor. Miz said no, doesn't really like Danhausen. Danhausen cursed not the Miz because he backed away, ended up getting Kit Wilson. They've surprisingly done matches with him, which is just no. I believe, did he end up cursing the Miz? Yes?
He did curse the Miz a little bit. He also broke into Miz's house and stole his daughter's bike.
Yep, I remember seeing that. And the Miz's former Slammy
award. And broke that too.
Yep. Now we have culminated to this tag team match where unanimously everybody is going Danhausen for the win. I did ask prediction-wise who we think his tag partner is going to be. Brother Pyro thinks it's going to be Topangahausen, as she is a fan, but I want to know how that's supposed to work when she's a female and it's a male match.
Put her in a bodysuit.
Yeah, that would work. Tank thinks it's going to be Cenahausen, but would love Sabrina Carpenter. Flash thinks it's going to be Joe Hendry.
Interesting call. That could happen. I just see with Hendry being over on SmackDown right now, Raw right now, that they're not going to intermingle them right there.
And your prediction for his partner?
I've got two names in mind.
Okay.
The first name, which would be absolutely hilarious, CM Punk. They got a lot of history going back to AEW. They're best friends. I mean, it's widely reported that Punk helped get him into the company to begin with.
And now they're newly on the same brand.
But the one I have a bad feeling about, and because it's TKO, Jelly Roll. And storyline-wise, it does make sense. But this is WWE lately, where storyline making sense doesn't really make that much sense anymore. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a completely different name. Maybe Obafemi will come out.
You know what? I honestly think that WWE and TKO are kind of sipping the same juice that Tony Khan used to back when we first started covering AEW, and we were like, hey, this was a storyline. When did it get dropped?
Yeah. It's amazing. A lot of people complain about Road Dogg with creative. Ever since he's left, the creative has gotten worse.
Yeah, no. Can we bring him back, please?
I know.
I personally think it's going to be Elton Prince, who is Kit Wilson's former tag team partner. I feel like he's going to come back from injury and just kind of be like, hey, look, dude, I'm here. What did you do? Mm-hmm. Like, where is Pretty Deadly? Because I get it that I was injured, but what are you now? Toxic? Really? Or he's just going to be like, you know what? I pick up on it. Let's all form a trio, and then Miz can teach us this. And we can be under his, pristine umbrella.
Ooh, the new learning tree.
No, not that. But you love the Miz. Tell me you wouldn't love that.
I would love to see the Miz like that. I would love to sit there and see the Miz get more featured prominently, because whether people want to admit it or not, he's a legend.
He is.
The man sit there and deserves more flowers than what he's getting right now compared to some of the other people with his status and some of the accolades that have. And this would just be a perfect opportunity for him.
I wholeheartedly agree. All right, take us into the next one.
Okay, so next match up, we actually do get a rematch from WrestleMania. We get Trick Williams, your United States champion, taking on Sami Zayn. Now, this match really didn't need to be had too much selling points to it. It didn't need a big elaborate story. You have the young up-and-comer challenging the KG Vet getting turned down by the fans, and that's just all the emotion that you need. But, you know what takes it to the next level? The Gingerbread Man.
Oh my lord. You were talking about how much you despised this.
I hate this storyline so badly. This is cringe. This is cringe on the level of Roman Reigns and dog food cringe.
Yep. Yes.
That's what this is right now. I mean, okay, it was kind of funny at first when he called Sami the Gingerbread Man.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny when they brought out an actual Gingerbread Man that turned out to be Sami Zayn beating up on Trick Williams. Mm-hmm. But then they just kept going with it to the point where Sami now is tearing apart a Gingerbread Man that was basically stationary in the ring, and then they decide, oh no, the Gingerbread Man didn't make it after that violent attack. And the announcers sounded like, the second coming of what happened to Owen Hart just happened in the ring. I hate to go to that extreme, but it's kind of what they were trying to be somber and mode-like for. I don't get it. I don't like it. This is not... I appreciate a little silliness in wrestling, hence Danhausen. I got no problem with it. But this is... What are we doing here, folks? What are we doing?
At this point, it's like, let's cut it. And you even said... Tonight on SmackDown, they're having a funeral for this thing?
Mm-hmm, yep. An in memoriam for the Gingerbread Man. Like, come on. Why are we wasting more valuable time with this?
Because it's TKO.
Yeah, and if the rumors are true that they're using AI to write storylines, this might be a prime example of what's going on with it.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Well,
right? Predictions?
Going into predictions, it is unanimous. We do not see the hype train slowing down with Tricky Williams right here. He's going to get in that ring and whoop that Trick.
Yes. Yeah. I did ask Brother Pyro for his reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll agree with him. Don't kill Trick's momentum right after the biggest win of his career, and the fans don't want Sami.
No, they don't. What they're actually looking forward to is Carmelo coming back and having that match going on right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we are looking for.
SummerSlam.
That would be beautiful. I would love to see... Honestly, 2-day tickets, take my money if that's going to be headlining.
Right. Honest to God. Sami's stale at this point. He's about as still as the Gingerbread Man.
Oh, yep.
Because clearly you could break the Gingerbread Man just fine.
Absolutely. They did miss an opportunity with the Gingerbread Man if they were going to tear limbs off of him. They should have tore off his legs and then have him kind of do crying like from Shrek.
Not the gumdrop buttons.
They could have done something like that and made it a little bit more hilarious.
Then people would have paid more attention instead of, oh, it's bathroom break. All right.
Pretty much.
I'm just going to walk away at this point. All right, jumping into our next match, we have IYO SKY versus Asuka. This has been a long time coming. When they were formerly in Damage Control, you got to see the cracks. They then kind of kicked out IYO for her relationship with Rhea. We got to see them as a tag team. Now Rhea is champion. They finally started to slowly pull the trigger a bit more on IYO and Asuka, but you dumped a crucial part of this.
Mm-hmm.
You dumped Kairi Sane. You needed Kairi to turn on Asuka and to hide behind IYO. That would have been the best part of this, because now they're turning on their senpai, the person that's paved the way for them to be in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And they stand against her. with Kairi at ringside because she's kind of still under that umbrella of Asuka, that would have been perfect.
Absolutely, it would have been perfect. It was, again, the perfect story that they had been building for the better part of a year right now.
Yep, and then you released her.
Not even 2 weeks before the match happens.
Yep, and now you're left with this, and it's like, do we continue, or do we just pump the entire brakes on it? Because, in all honesty, you could have done either at this point. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have really paid attention if you had just chosen to drop the storyline altogether. You dropped Kairi. The storyline didn't need to progress the way that it did, but here we are.
Yeah.
Going into our predictions, all of us but Cauldron, usually you're the odd man out.
Normally.
Have picked IYO. He has picked Asuka. And your reasoning for this, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this obviously has to be the blow off of this feud. We can't keep going with it, especially with Kairi not there anymore. Mm-hmm. And IYO is at this point the bigger star in the company. Asuka is great. She is a certified legend. I'm not going to take anything away from her. Mm-hmm. But we need to get these two away from each other and doing other things. Like IYO's match versus Becky. That was a really good match, and I can easily see IYO working her way into that Intercontinental title picture scene. Mm-hmm. And as for Asuka, maybe something happens where she gets sent over to SmackDown, maybe goes after the U.S. title that's over there, maybe gets in a tag team with, I hate to say it, Julia, because Julia's getting sailed and she needs somebody to learn under, and that would be a perfect background going right there.
But then what do you do with Kiana James in that situation?
Kiana's already showing herself as being the bigger star of the two right now. She can handle herself on her own and go after different things.
Okay, so you see kind of them splitting and Asuka going over to team with Julia. Mm-hmm. But then what happens if they're both floundering at that point? Then you just cut them?
Unfortunately, the way TKO is doing things, probably. I hate to say it, but yes.
I'm kind of surprised with all the releases that have come that Grayson Waller wasn't on the chopping block.
That is very surprising that Grayson wasn't on the chopping block. I would have thought he would have been there, right there with them guys. And also, as much as I'm a fan, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny and Candice, because they're just kind of left floundering at this point. But maybe they have some storylines coming up. Maybe Johnny moves back down to NXT.
Maybe. If Johnny moves back down to NXT, that might be the best thing for him at this point in time. Because they actually were building a good storyline with Johnny and the Motor City Machine Guns, and then we just cut the Motor City Machine Guns. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, you start something, and then it's like, you know what? It's like when a little kid draws a picture, and you get that one nice line, and then you mess up, and you're like, all right, garbage.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep. So, all right, next match, please.
All right, going into the next one, it is going to be a battle between an ex-mentor and an ex-mentee. We have the visionary Seth freaking Rollins versus the certifiable badass Bron Breakker. Now, way we got into this, we're not going to go through the whole backstory. We're going to go a little bit more recent history.
I was going to say snippets.
Yeah, we're going to go more recent history. WrestleMania, Seth Rollins going up against Gunther. Seth looks like he's got the match a little bit in hand. Not 100%, but getting there. Mm-hmm. When out of nowhere, boom, Braun, spear. Braun is now back from injury. And not only does he spear him once, he makes it a point to run all the way down the WrestleMania ramp again to spear him a second time, costing Seth the match. Mm-hmm. And so now we have that whole, Seth, I want revenge, but you're not ready for the big time yet, Braun. You can't handle the spotlight, and I'm going to show you can't handle the spotlight. Old school storytelling, folks. Who would have thought that would make some compelling TV?
Right?
I know. No, you would have thought.
Because, gee, it didn't work back in the day, did it?
No, not at all. I've heard Bully Ray say one thing. He's like, sometimes you just go back to the past, use it today. What was once old is now new, and what is now new is fresh. Mm-hmm. That's what you got to do sometimes. Yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel, guys. I digress, though.
Otherwise, you're going to turn into a 10-minute Pyro rant.
Pretty much. And I've already kind of gone off a little bit on TKO quite a bit. I'm getting, as we can all tell, cranky with the dang company right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, so moving into predictions. We have two people on the side of Mr. Seth freaking Rollins, and that would be Brother Pyro and Tank. Oh, sorry, we got three. And then we also got Twisted on that side as well. Or the rest
Flash.
Oh, Flash. I missed that.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. Anyways, the rest of us are going with Mr. Bron Breakker and Twisted. What do we got going for you?
I'm honestly undecided. It's so hard for me to be pulled in both directions. I can't give a clear answer here because on one hand, I want to say Seth does it. Seth is the veteran here. Seth knows what it takes to be in the spotlight, knows what it takes to win the big matches, and knows what it takes to overcome people like that. I mean, he's taken over Roman at points. He's taken over Brock. I'm losing my mind here.
It's okay. Sometimes with the names like Braun, Brock, Braun.
Yeah. You kind of get lost there.
It was bad when they had the Brons.
Oh, my Lord. Is it bad that I'm kind of happy that one's on, the shelf just for right now? Because otherwise I lose my damn mind. But, he took out Brock. He's been that guy. He's been that guy on numerous occasions. Whereas you do have the certifiable badass in Bron Breakker. And he is the future. There's this whole gold lighting for him. And he can go. Mm-hmm. He can take it. I know that, being with Paul Heyman, being under Seth for the time that he was, he can make it to the big time. But can that be now, coming off of this injury?
I know. I agree. And then also, don't discount his lineage. He is a Steiner.
Oh, yeah, that promo battle, him calling him Baby Steiner was beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I just hope we get another Steiner Math promo eventually. I know we got it a little bit in NXT, but we need to get a full one in, the main roster eventually.
Oh, I don't know if you saw it, but on socials, he was talking crap about Seth Rollins, saying that, asking if he even went to the gym, if he had a gym membership, or if he did Pilates or some shit like that. It was great.
Oh, that's awesome. But I don't see you neutering his momentum right now for Breakker. Okay. I think you need to sit there and continue to build it up. Yes, Seth just lost at Mania, and this might hinder him a little bit, but Seth is popular enough and charismatic enough to be able to bounce back from almost any loss and still keep real good credibility going forward. I think you need to make Breakker look strong, because if you're going to keep the vision together, which reluctantly it looks like they're doing, you need to have somebody strong as the center of that group. And I'm sorry, Logan Paul and Austin Theory just ain't it.
No. Could you see Breakker also winning this via Logan Paul and Austin Theory getting involved?
I do. I can see that. I can easily see that. It might make Breakker look a little weak at first, but depending on the finish, he could easily recapture that heat. Okay,
because another thing that I was thinking is, does this go to SummerSlam? Do you see that feud going to SummerSlam?
I see it. It has enough legs, because Seth can sit there and carry a promo and carry a program that long. Look what he did with CM Punk last year.
Yeah.
So, Seth knows how to work a long-term angle, long-term promo. Mm-hmm. And this could be the perfect learning opportunity for Breakker to sit there and get involved in that type of storytelling.
Okay. And you don't think it would get stale going to SummerSlam?
No, not at all, especially with the revolving components of the vision going on. And who knows if Bronson Reed comes back anytime soon, maybe interject him with that as well.
Okay. Just taking a look over here at Brother Pyro's reasoning. He said, Seth is going over, further proves his point of Breakker not being ready for the big spotlight yet. Plus, Seth needs a bounce back after the Gunther loss. Do you agree with kind of what he's saying?
I agree where he's going with that sentiment right there. Because, especially as a face, Miz actually said this recently in an interview with Chris Van Vliet.
Okay.
As a face, you need to be booked to win. You can't be taking loss after loss and still keep your credibility with the fans, because the fans that love you want to see you win. And if you take too many L's, it could hurt your momentum and it could hurt your brand. So I see where he's going with that. But Seth's brand is so popular and so big, he can eat a few L's and not have it hurt him.
Okay, all right, main event, we have the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns takes on his cousin, Jacob Fatu. Now, this came after Roman Reigns newly crowned the World Heavyweight Champion from WrestleMania, beating CM Punk in what was honestly a beautiful match.
Oh, it was a great match. Best match at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Me and Brother Pyro did say that towards the end with their, adrenaline kind of working its way down, it did get kind of sloppy and it was a little slow, but we got there and eventually the match concluded. The next night on Monday Night Raw, Roman is set to make an appearance. He asked Jimmy and Jay to come out with him. He says that he was going to talk about all these different things as to what's going forward, but he wants to talk about family now. Says that the Bloodline needs to come back together. He misses them not working for him, but working with him. Brings out a classic line from The Shield saying that we are apart, we are 5 fingers separated, we need to be one fist. The Shield imploded after he said that, so I don't know how well we're going to go with this.
I've got a thought.
We'll hear that thought, definitely. Jacob then comes out and goes, I want everything you have because I need it. It's not because I want it. I don't want the strap. I need everything that comes with you holding that because I need to do that for my family. Roman then said, I'm going to give you some time, little cousin, to think about this, to see if you can really hold this, see if you really want this. The next week, he then hit him with the
Tonga Death Grip.
Tonga Death Grip, which is something in Samoan culture that you only use in extreme circumstances. Roman was completely thrown off by the fact that he decided to use this, said it wasn't to that escalation, and at the contract signing was used yet again. Mm-hmm. So,
on more than one occasion, including with a chokeslam on top of it.
Yes. So, your thoughts before we get into predictions for this?
I love the way that the storytelling kind of went about with these two. Mm-hmm. Only a few weeks to sit there and build a program, and Jacob has been getting booked to look like that next big breakout star. Mm-hmm. So what better way to sit there and showcase him, especially on the ESPN audience, the whole world, than against Roman, the biggest star in the company right now. So you're going to be able to showcase and show what he can do everywhere. I love the fact that he's saying, I don't want this, I need this. That's a different level of, commitment that we see people challenging titles for right now. And especially going back to his promo from right before Solo, where he's like, hey, I'm coming from EBT to WWE. You know his whole story going out there. So this is him on a platter right there, being personable. And when you interject that little bit of realism, you get something special in the wrestling business.
Okay. Looking into our predictions, a majority of us are going Jacob, whereas Brother Pyro and Hex are choosing Roman Reigns for this. Brother Pyro's reasoning being Roman's safe from the pay cut. It'll advance a potential bloodline story with Jacob, plus why have him lose after just winning? And if you paid attention, I see Roman and his wrestling soulmate going at it down the line, that being Seth Rollins.
I can definitely see that. And I've also heard the rumors, or actually not rumors, where Roman's like, I'm going to be here all summer, y'all. But nobody's really quietly noticed that Roman's been debooked from every single appearance in June.
Yes.
And so, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure if it's TKO shenanigans or Roman's got a movie coming up. Who knows? We're going to let the man be in peace with that whole thing. Mm-hmm. But if the belt's going to be gone for a month, and this title was supposed to be created as the working class belt, you can't have it not be on TV for an entire month at this point.
I agree, because I was doing this, while I was writing down everything, I'm looking at, the different titles. And back when I first started watching WWE, the WWE Championship was on the A brand, so it was always on Raw, whereas the B belt, which is the World Heavyweight, was always on SmackDown. Now it seems that it's more switched. Any reasoning, to your knowledge, being that you know a lot more in the world of pro wrestling than I do, as to why it would have switched?
So the WWE Championship, especially when they merged it with that whole unification match with Brock and Roman was going to stay on SmackDown because that was the schedule that worked best for him and with a lot of his travel. So it made sense to keep the belt right there. Mm-hmm. And then there was no other title, hence why they created that other one to go over. But it's starting to feel like the World Heavyweight title is starting to mean a little bit more than the WWE Championship right now, because Cody is, well, for lack of a better term, stale.
Yep.
He is
about as stale as the Gingerbread Man.
Yep. And so, man, that Gingerbread Man keeps making his way onto this podcast.
Maybe I should put a little memorial at the very end.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, Cody's getting stale. The World Heavyweight title, Punk carried that belt through the winter time, made it really, really relevant. Seth did a great job with the world title. Mm-hmm. And even Gunther didn't do that bad of a job with it.
No, Damian Priest also had it.
Mm-hmm.
And even the short moments that Drew McIntyre had it, he made it mean something. Mm-hmm. Even with the WWE Championship for that short time, he had it. You make it mean something.
Yep, and especially with Raw being on Netflix, that's getting a little bit more of a prominence right there. So I know in a kind of roundabout way what I'm basically saying is that basically because of schedules, the WWE Championship stayed on SmackDown, and it was the A show for the longest time, but not anymore.
No.
Raw's now the main show because SmackDown can be a chore to watch nowadays.
Yeah, because when I started, Raw was the A show, SmackDown was the B show. After a while, it really started to flip, especially with the Bloodline being on SmackDown. You really had people watching SmackDown a lot more than tuning into Raw. That became the A show, Raw moved to the B show, and now it's flipped because of the presence of Netflix.
And the other reason, too, SmackDown was on Fox, national television right there, so you're going to have your biggest belt on a bigger platform.
Okay. All right, anything you'd like to say before we cut this?
With Roman's fist promo,
yes,
I would love to see, because there's two people we haven't talked about in this match. we haven't talked about the Usos.
That is true.
They have been kind of not really picking a side in this whole thing, right, whatsoever. Mm-hmm. They're not really on Roman's. They're telling Roman what to do or what not to do, and they're telling Jacob what to do or what not to do.
Jacob's not going to listen to them. We all know that.
But at the same time, who's to say that after Roman made that fist thing with the Shield, he got hit in the chair with a back? Maybe the Usos turn on Roman and back up their cousin, who is their father, Rikishi, his twin brother. That's Jacob's kid.
Oh, okay.
So there's a little bit more closeness with those three right there.
Yeah.
And I can see that being kind of a new Bloodline 2.0 or 3.0. Could be 3.0 because you had Solo's group for a little while.
Which, speaking of Solo's group, there were 2 that were just released for that as well, because we were talking releases.
Yep.
What was it? Tonga Loa was released, and JC Mateo, which had only been in the company for a year, or just about a year.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
They didn't give him a chance. Apparently, he was set for a big singles push, but that didn't come to bear. It's kind of like Aleister Black. Aleister back for only 1 year, and they released him as well.
Along with his wife.
Yes. It makes no sense on why they were doing these budget cuts. But with SmackDown going down to 2 hours, the rumor they're saying is, release the SmackDown guys because you don't have the TV time for all those people.
I know another thing that they were pointing out is that TKO had said in an interview that he doesn't prefer, they don't prefer the spookier-esque people. And that's why all of Wyatt Sicks got released too. I'm really mad about that because you spent this whole time beautifully building this up. You had Bo coming in, making memoriam for his brother, having that split personality between him and Uncle Howdy, and then once they got pulled for a little bit because of injury, you brought them back. They were still supposed to be on the same momentum slide, and you just dropped them. Mm-hmm. And that sucks. It
sucks hardcore because they could have done something really special with the Wyatt Sicks. I mean, and Bo Dallas in particular, I thought he would have been a guy who would have had a job for life at WWE. And also to bring back Eric Rowan just to unceremoniously release him after everything as well. It's like, come on, dude, what are we doing here?
Yeah, the guy went over to AEW for a little bit, wrestled under Eric Redbeard, and then came back to his home, to WWE, to honor his brothers that passed. And now it's just, oh, yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, ridiculous. All right, with that being said, that is WWE Backlash. Thank you, Desario, for being here while Brother Pyro's away. And we hope you guys enjoy the show. Laters.